Cam Reddin, and this is Your Homecoming on 2SSR FM.
If you're keeping it pretty local tonight, not every Friday night can be a big night out. You may be looking for something to watch at the movies, or maybe even just at home. But as I'm sure you've found out, making a decision on actually what to watch is probably the most difficult part. So what I've done is I've enlisted the help of someone whose judgment on film and TV I trust very much, and who I think may be able to help us out. Ellen Kirkness is a familiar voice on this show. You would have heard her on some of the station IDs we have, also some of the ads we run for this show, and she's good enough to lend her expertise every week to point us in the right direction when we're looking for something to watch. G'day, Ellen.
Hi.
How you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Another big night in planned for tonight, I imagine. Plenty on the agenda.
Of course.
Now, we've got a couple of things to touch on today. The first one we're looking at is Big Fat Greek Wedding. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 is in cinemas at the moment.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard mixed reviews on this right the way through. Can we even hold number 2 in the same sentence as the first one?
I don't think so, no. It was a great film. Great to see everyone there, all the cast and the crew all joining in.
Yeah.
But it just didn't hold up as well as the first.
I don't think anything seems to. We've heard regularly this has been the year of sequels. We've had that Dumb and Dumber 2 that was horrible. Zoolander was horrible. Most of them are flops. It's like Star Wars the only one that's half decent. What is the film like here? Is it more of a continuation of the first one? Or is it just, well, they've all kind of been playing their characters for the last 14 years anyway, so we may as well make a buck off it?
I totally think it's the last 14 years. They've just been playing the same character. Like, you see them all, they're fat, they're old, they're wrinkly.
Oh,
it's just crazy.
Is it something that you would go out and see purely off the back of the first one and how much of a cult classic that became? Because that seems to be the only thing that's held this movie up to this point. I know a lot of the same characters return. You would imagine that there are only so many times you can tell those sorts of jokes, playing off the race relations type thing, which is really well done in the first film. Does it have enough on its own, though, to stand up as a film?
Personally, I don't think so. I mean, it was great to see everyone being the same characters, etc., but using the same lines just in different characters didn't really work for me, personally. Like, to hear Gus say, "Why you want to leave me?" and then to hear Tula say it just didn't give the same effect at all.
Bit of a cop-out.
Yeah.
Do you give it a grade?
If I give the first one a 10, I'd give this one a 5.
Give the first one a 10? That's a decent rap.
Of course I'd give it a 10.
Really?
It's a great film.
It's not a bad film, but a 10 out of 10?
It's a great film.
Wow.
Come on.
The standards are setting pretty high. We're going to have to move the bar a bit, I
Coming
think.
from great background, it's just beautiful. It's
It
great.
is a very good film.
It actually wasn't supposed to do that well, the first film.
Yeah, really?
It just sploofed, happened.
That's what cult classics do, because I know the budget wasn't huge, but you see a lot of movies like that where they're almost made to take the mickey out of...
Yeah.
Like, for an Australian example, things like Housos and versus Authority, made on a shoestring.
Yeah.
Made with mates rates virtually, but it took off just because
crazy.
people loved the characters so much. So even if they have gotten a bit older, at least you think it's worth going to see?
Oh, 100%. If you've seen the first one, you have to see the second one. It's just, you have to.
Even for nostalgia. Now, if we're going to talk about films that are given 10 out of 10, Shawshank Redemption is one you've watched recently on Netflix, is one I haven't had the chance to see yet.
Oh, Cameron.
Now, everyone I meet, if the topic of favourite films comes up, Shawshank is probably the first cab off the rank.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I've never understood it because I haven't seen it, but from what I know, it is meant to be one of those films that just grabs you and thinks, all right, I need to really reevaluate my existence here. Is that what you sort of took away from it as well?
Oh, definitely. I mean, this film is just so, hauntingly beautiful in a sense that you see, so many people being affected by the life in prison. Like, you see Red and even Andy Dufresne, just the way they handle everything. And it's just a beautiful film in the way that they become friends. And
obviously, given nothing away, I was unfortunate enough a little while ago, obviously I haven't seen the full film, I was given a spoiler a few years ago, so I know some part of where the film goes.
Yeah.
But I think even if you knew nothing about it, given the hype that this movie receives, I rely a lot on IMDb for my film, and if I'm picking anything to watch.
Don't we all?
So anything under sort of a 7, I don't like to take too much of a risk on. It's a 9.2. It's one of the few films on Rotten Tomatoes, and every review gives it some ridiculously high score. Can you still appreciate... Is there actually a way when you're looking at these films to sort of disregard what everyone else says about them and just appreciate the story that you're telling?
I don't think so. I think just because it's such a great film and everyone says it's a great film and you have to watch it, that it just, you love it. Like I got recommended it by my friends and I just fell in love with it based on what they said. And then when I watched it, it was even better than what they had said.
It's not a feel-good movie though, is it?
It is.
It is?
Well, at the end, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, the beginning, no. The middle, no. The end, definitely.
Because I know, I remember I saw a little while ago a film that was called sort of like a light Shawshank Redemption called Gran Torino. Now that has Clint Eastwood in one of the best performances I've seen by any actor ever. It's a brilliant, brilliant movie. But I guess the thing with that is it's so dry and gritty and it's genuinely made to be like a black comedy that holds it up in amongst all the dark and deep meaningful stuff that's going on. From what I've heard about Shawshank Redemption, even though everyone says it's a brilliant film, is that there isn't probably as much light and shade until you sort of walk away from it and think, oh yeah, well I guess it wasn't all so bad.
Yeah.
Give it a score?
Oh.
We've set the bar high with Big Fat Greek Wedding 1.
I mean, I don't want to say it's 10 out of 10 again, but...
When you got to do, you got to do.
Maybe 9.8. There we go.
Oh, there we go. That'll rustle some jimmies. Ellen Kirkness, we'll chat again next week.
Yeah, see you then.
Cam Reddin, and this is Your Homecoming on 2SSR FM.